Hey everyone. So becoming a podiatry assistant has piqued your interest, huh? Well, get this. I've been digging deep into career guides, job platforms, even interview prep stuff, all to give you the inside scoop on what this healthcare role really entails.
And trust me, there's way more to it than you might initially think.
Okay, gotta admit, when I first heard podiatry assistant, I definitely had a pretty limited view. But hey, I'm always up for having my mind blown. So spill the beans. What's this career really all about?
Well, yeah, basic foot care IS part of it, but honestly, a podiatry assistant's responsibilities are surprisingly diverse. We're talking about things like, actually assisting podiatrists with diagnoses, educating patients on how to properly care for their feet, managing all those patient records, even getting into fitting those custom orthotics.
Hold on, custom orthotic.
Yeah, those inserts that go inside your shoes to fix any foot problems.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
But wow, assisting with diagnoses. That's a whole lot more involved than I would have pictured. What does that look like on a day-to-day basis?
So imagine this. You're the podiatrist's right-hand person. You're
Hmm.
helping them gather all the necessary information, prepping for procedures, maybe even taking a patient's medical history, getting their vitals, positioning them for an x-ray if they think there's a fracture.
Oh, wow.
It's a very hands-on role, that's for sure. You need sharp observation skills and the ability to communicate clearly with both the podiatrist and the patient.
Makes sense. And I'm seeing a lot about technology playing a big role too. Electronic health records, even telemedicine, which honestly for foot care kind of blew my mind.
It's true. Technology is completely changing the game. Electronic health records have streamlined a lot, especially record keeping and communication. Then you've got digital imaging, which makes diagnoses way more accurate. And yeah, telemedicine, that's shaking things up too. Just imagine, you're a podiatry assistant, you're on a video call, guiding a patient through at-home foot checks, maybe helping them manage their condition remotely. That's the future.
That's wild. Okay, so it seems like this field is evolving super fast. But let's get down to brass tacks. Where does a podiatry assistant actually work? Paint me a picture.
Got it. So the majority of them are in clinical settings, podiatrists, offices, hospitals, outpatient care centers, you know the drill. But here's the curveball. Our research also showed this uptick in home visits, which is interesting.
Wait, hold up. Home visits for foot care. That's a whole other side I hadn't even considered.
I know, right? It really highlights how much healthcare is shifting toward preventative care, reaching patients where they are. It's not about waiting for things to go wrong. It's about actively helping people stay on top of their foot health. This is especially crucial as we see the population aging and conditions like diabetes, obesity, those are on the rise.
That's a really good point. Which makes me wonder, what's the job outlook like for this career path? It's got to be a field with a ton of potential.
You're totally right. Everything we looked at, including the Bureau of Labor Statistics, points to a very promising job outlook for podiatry assistants. Get this, they're projecting a 10% growth over the next 10 years.
Whoa, 10%. That's huge.
It's way faster than the average for most other occupations.
So, okay, it's a drumming field. We've got a glimpse of what they do.
Hmm.
But let's be real. Every job has its pros and cons, right? What are we looking at here?
Totally. Every job has its ups and downs. But I'd say a major plus with this one is you're really working directly with patients, like making a tangible difference in their lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're helping people regain their mobility, manage their pain, just generally improve their well-being. And then, honestly, the sheer variety of tasks keeps things interesting. One day you're doing patient education, the next you're assisting with a procedure. Never a dull moment.
That variety is definitely a big plus in my book. But okay, let's flip the coin. The research mentioned something about, well, exposure to some not-so-pleasant foot conditions. Can't sugarcoat everything.
Right. It's not always pretty, that's for sure. You're going to encounter wounds, infections, other things that might make some people a little squeamish. It takes a certain kind of person, someone resilient, strong stomach to handle those situations, but also with compassion. You got to be professional.
Got it. So you got to be okay with the hands-on aspect, have a bit of a stomach of steel. All right, but what about moving up in this field? What are the career advancement opportunities like? Where can this role lead you?
That's an interesting one. So within the podiatry assistant role itself, there's definitely room to grow, like becoming a lead assistant or specializing in a particular area. But the really exciting part, it's a fantastic stepping stone to becoming a full-fledged licensed podiatrist.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Like you're getting a behind-the-scenes look at the field before diving into the whole podiatry school thing. Did our research say anything about how many podiatry assistants actually take that route?
We didn't see hard numbers on that, but they definitely emphasize that working as an assistant gives you invaluable experience, a real feel for the field. Imagine starting podiatry school already familiar with common procedures, medical terms, patient interactions. You'd be miles ahead.
Talk about a head start. All right, so for anyone feeling inspired by this possibility, let's break it down. What kind of education, what kind of skills do you actually need to land a podiatry assistant job in the first place?
Well, the good news is it's pretty attainable. Most employers are looking for a high school diploma or equivalent, and then you'd need to complete a specialized training program.
Okay, good to know.
And those are offered all over vocational schools, community colleges, even online platforms. They'll give you that hands-on training in all the essential skills.
So no need to jump into a 4-year degree right away. Makes it more accessible.
Yeah.
What about certifications? Are those a must-have or?
It varies. Not always mandatory, but they definitely give you an edge. Shows you're serious about the profession, that you've mastered those key skills. Organizations like the American Society of Podiatric Medical Assistants, they offer a bunch of different certification programs, something to look into once you've got some experience under your belt.
Love that. Adds another tool to your professional toolkit. But beyond the qualifications, the pieces of paper, what about those soft skills? What does a person need to actually thrive as a podiatry assistant?
Oh, you're speaking my language now. Beyond the technical stuff, it's those interpersonal skills that are make or break. Active listening, being able to really hear your patient's concerns, communicating clearly, empathetically, even critical thinking. You got to anticipate needs, adapt to different situations.
Right, because every patient is different.
Exactly. Remember, these are people who might be anxious, they might be in pain, they might just need someone reassuring. That human connection, that's just as vital as your technical know-how.
I love that you brought that up, that human element. It's about treating the whole person, not just a foot problem. Which actually reminds me, our research kept mentioning this platform called RoleCatcher. It seems like a pretty big deal in the career world right now. What's the scoop on that?
Yeah, it really is. It's basically a career platform, but it uses AI to connect job seekers with employers. It's supposed to be way more streamlined than traditional methods.
Okay, that's pretty cool. But how does it actually work in practice? Our research mentioned building a CV on there, practicing interview questions, even this whole getting discovered thing. What's that all about?
Right. So it's kind of like having this super-powered online presence. You put in your skills, your experience, what you're looking for in a career, and RoleCatcher's algorithms take it from there. They help you build a CV, a cover letter, all tailored to the specific jobs you're interested in.
So it's not just using a generic template. It's actually personalized.
Exactly. And the getting discovered part, that's where it gets really wild. Employers using RoleCatcher, they can actually search for candidates based on really specific stuff. Let's say a podiatrist's office needs a podiatry assistant who's got experience with digital imaging and a knack for patient communication. If that sounds like you, boom, your profile could be right there in front of them before you even send an application.
Whoa, so it's like flipping the script on traditional job hunting.
Yeah.
You've got a digital headhunter working for you in the background. I can see why people are excited about it.
Totally. It's part of this bigger trend, using technology to make career transitions way smoother.
It's like we were saying before, telemedicine. Innovation is changing every single part of healthcare, even how we find these in-demand roles.
100%. It's a really exciting time to be entering this field.
It really is. Well, as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of podiatry assistants, I got to say, I'm blown away by how much more there is to this role than I initially realized. It's not just foot care, it's about using your skills, your compassion, even your tech savviness to truly make a difference.
I couldn't have said it better myself. It's a field with so much potential, not only for those who are passionate about healthcare, but for every single person out there who needs skilled podiatrists and their assistants to, keep them moving, keep them pain-free, just keep them living their best lives.
Perfectly said. All right, so for anyone listening who's feeling that spark, that intrigue about a career as a podiatry assistant, our advice is simple. Keep digging. Look into training programs. Chat with people who are actually doing the work. Maybe even see if you can shadow a podiatry assistant for a day. You never know. You might just have your own aha moment in the world of podiatry.
Absolutely. Go for it.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. And until next time, keep those minds curious.